Another thing I remember, which goes to the subject of feeling in music, is that when we've worked together, you've always taken a scene or a character or a cue, or I should say the cue or the scene that we're working on, and you've described it as you would to the actor on the set, to me, which is unique in my experience, but incredibly rewarding and incredibly insightful. In other words, you would give me descriptions about the character, what his motivations are, what is the arc. You know, he doesn't know this yet, so he's only thinking in this way, but by this point he will be thinking in this way, and he will have arrived at that, and therefore the music, I mean, very succinct and very, but an actor's perspective. And I found that a great thing to apply to a score.
Yeah, really?
It really meant a lot to me, and very useful tool to know I can't give up certain things at this point in the score. I have to save those for here, you know, because the actor would do that. You know.
Why am I just finding all this stuff now? All this complimentary.
Because we always have we always have so much to do when we.
Well, that's true. We're always on a tight time frame. Well, there's another thing too, Mark, and that is it's kind of when you have musical score to work with, you at least in my case, I believe in silences carrying their own weight. And sometimes there has to be complete silence between characters as you let something sink in, or the acting goes to another level where words are not, it's beyond words, where the meaning of a scene is beyond words.
Yeah.
So silence is the only thing that can work. And now you can score silence when there's no dialogue, or you can let it breathe. And one of the things I've enjoyed with you, since there are silences in films that I make, that sometimes it would require something, and you would appreciate when it didn't. So that's another thing. I just think, you know, bottom line here is that we've enjoyed working together because of compatibility, the lack of needing to over-explain and over-talk things. You know, usually that was dictated by the fact we had no time. And the fact that you have your own workplace, you work out of home, and I think home is wonderful when you can have it. I just think it's been a very harmonious and wonderful relationship that has to do with synchronicity and understanding and having a common feel. I can't have what you have in terms of producing music, but I can feel.
Yeah. Well, you're good at expressing it, talking one through the process of getting it to express. It's hard. Music is completely subjective. It has potential of meaning many things to many different people.
Sure.
And somehow in our process we have to focus it just enough so that it means sort of a ballpark thing, because it has to relate to the message, the story that you're conveying.
Well, look, I'm totally admiring of musical composition, particularly for film, because of the time, because of the budgets, and the fact that money sits at the bottom of a lot of this, that you only have so much time. You might do 2 or 3 films a year, maybe 4. You have so much time. You have to get a rough cut. You have to look at it. You might have a brief meeting with me, or maybe there's not any time for that. You say, look, I'm just going to score what I feel. And you're coming at it pretty cold. You know, you're coming at it blind and cold. And then you have to go through the process of working through it, and like, where do you let something build? And do you build it to a point and pause, or do you build it and take it over the top? The other thing that's exciting about music is that there's so many ways to do it. I mean, there's so many different scores that are possible for films.
Yes.
You can load up a film with solid music, and sometimes that will make a film work because it's lacking story, or it's lacking the right kind of dialogue. So you overpower it with music. Some people might be offended. Oh, that's too much, it's over the top. But for a general audience, that's precisely what makes them feel something. And another film would be very minimal and lean and so forth. So there's a wide berth for musical composition, which is really great.